Calypso. And I'm hosting a tournament. If you win, I will grant you a single wish.
Cowabunga, motherfucker. Get out the way! It's time for the outsiders to get their fair share.
If we win, we can wish to bring down all the walls.
We're taking them all down. The system, the walls, all of it.
All girls! Prepare for battle in 10, 9.
You make a run at me, I will end you. Feel me?
We knew Calypso wasn't gonna make it easy on us. That's what makes your wish worth it. Out of my way!
Welcome to Twisted Metal.
What's up, people? What is going on? Welcome. We are back with another episode of Twisted Metal. We are doing episodes 6 and 7. And for some reason, Brian put in the chat 5 and 6, and then 6 and 7. I put no
6
idea
and 7 because on the one we had before we started, the thing said 4 and 5 still.
Oh, I got you. Oh, wait, did it? No, I think I added the right one. Okay, yeah, I got you. But what is up, Brian? How you doing, man? Thanks for popping in. Much appreciated. Tell the people where they can find you, sir.
And 1/3 of Spoiler Kings, we go live Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. We're almost finishing up this Harry Potter part so I can get to something I really want to watch the Expanse. So just, at this point in time, I'm like, all right, I watched this so many times. I know what's going to happen. It's hard, but
yeah, you need to get off of that Harry Potter.
Harry Potter's awesome. No, come on, man. It's the best world ever created.
Oh, my Lord. Nerds!
You call me a nerd just because I have my Death Eater mask right here?
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, I'm a super nerd.
And how many popcorn buckets do you own right now?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21.
At almost $100 a pop, guys. Get that. Okay? I'm just saying.
Some of them are only 45.
Yeah.
Somewhere between 50 and 100. Yeah, that's probably true. But I have the AMC app, so I get points for each one, everything I buy. So
yeah, well, we don't have that crap here, so good for you. I hate on your crap right now. I mean, we have something similar to it, but it's just not even close.
No, for $24 a month, I could watch four movies a week.
Hey, see, there you go. But what is up, guys? Thank you for popping in. We are here to talk about Twisted Metal. And boy, was this episode a doozy.
How wrong could we be?
Oh, facts. Preach. Just last week, we were like, oh, yeah, they're all going to make it through. Don't worry about that. They're all going to make it through. And boy,
6 minutes later.
Facts. Did we get a shocker of an episode? So we definitely going to get it started. Obviously, we got the recaps. And it starts off with a flashback. And the flashback in this episode is John Doe, and he's sitting by himself, and he has his first encounter with Calypso. Now, my question was,
is it a future or is it the past?
Right. And if it's the past, then I guess he knows what Calypso looks like, but like I would put 2 and 2 together, like, oh, that dude that I seen a long time ago was Calypso. Now, You know what I mean? So it's weird that they did it like that. But what do you think about the opening scene? I thought it was very interesting.
I thought it told us a lot about John, and that he's Calypso. He's probably watched Calypso become this entity. So he saw the end of the world, all this stuff was happening, but he saw Calypso be this dude he saw just in passing and become this entity that's as powerful as he is. And John saw the beginning. He saw the impetus of all this stuff, and I think that's really cool. And that it seems like he's meant to be there. That he's meant to be part of all this stuff.
Agreed, 100%. And not to mention the fact that I had this feeling, like I don't know if you got the vibe too, that he wasn't the actual Calypso at this time. You know what I mean? Like it seemed like he was working for Calypso. You know what I mean? So I don't know if
I
you
don't even
got
know if
that.
it's that. I thought that
What is,
maybe Calypso said, "I'll do anything to do this, to get, be more powerful. This is what I want," and made me think that they made a deal with the devil.
deal with the devil? Yeah, I could see that too. Yeah, I could definitely see that too, where he made a deal with the devil. Now the question was, did he make the deal with the devil? Because he was just popping up them drinks like out of the blue. You know what I mean? So he had already probably made his deal with the devil by this point.
Yeah, I think so.
Which,
I think that he's just learning his powers. He's traveling, figuring out what he can and cannot do, and now he's serious.
yeah,
But before it was just a small power that he was, it was a seed.
seems like, I guess maybe the longer he was possessed, the more powerful he gets. That could definitely be a possibility. Maybe he becomes more in tune with the demon inside of him, because right now he's able to just pop up. I would have been like, hey, you want to leave a couple more of them packs over here, bro? Like, where are we going? You left me with 6. That's it? Nah, we could do better than that.
But do you think this is a taste?
Yeah.
Drug dealers, right?
Mhm.
The first one's free. Candy, really, everything. The first one's
Mhm.
free. You want to come back for more, you understand where you have to come from. So I think he might have been laying seeds with all these drivers. Is it possible that
Agreed.
everyone who's in this one of these drivers, he laid a seed with each one of them, and now they're all here in this race?
100%. Because, and that makes a good point, because it's like, how do you know Calypso's able to grant a wish if you didn't come across something earlier on to make you like, you know what? Maybe something like this is possible. Because he may forget what Calypso looked like, depending on how many years this went by. It's dark and everything. You know what I mean? They're a lot older now. So he may forget what Calypso looked like. But he ain't going to forget that this guy was just popping drinks out of his ass. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't forget that. So that's kind of like to say, okay, so if something like that is possible, then maybe it's possible to get your wish granted no matter what it is. Because some of these wishes are like, yeah,
Yeah, all the walls to come down.
you know what I mean? Invincible. Like, how do you manage that if they don't know that someone's already like supernatural, So definitely. But I like Calypso. I can't wait to hear more of his backstory. I think we will get a more backstory. And I'm with you. I think that maybe we may see a flashback to where he's meeting everyone. You know what I mean? Everyone important. Yeah. Like him, maybe Quiet, maybe even Mayhem. You know what I mean? Maybe not everybody, but the most important players that we have.
You remember when he first popped up and he came in and they're like, Calypso.
Mm-hmm.
We all assumed that because you see him on TV, you just really know him. But is it possible they visit each one of them and that's why they know who he is really?
100%. I could definitely get down with that. Hope we get more information on that, but right now it seems like that's the case. There's a great little flashback, but then we get into the battle, and these guys, Quiet and John Doe, they turn around and they're like, okay, we gotta save Mayhem, and they try to save her, and she didn't really seem too appreciative of them saving her. But what we had in this major battle was a death, because Dollface says she is going to go back and help, and well, as she's trying to help, she gets stabbed in the back. So what were your thoughts on Dollface dying, Brian?
First, I said, holy shit. They really just killed off the person they spent all this time developing that fast. We finally get John to reconnect with his past. His sister was his past. That's what it is. And the fact that all of a sudden we did all those things to kill her off immediately with all the connection she has with the other drivers and all that was crazy. My second thought was, if I'm John, I blame Mayhem.
Facts. 100%.
So I would never put my neck out there for her again. And even if Quiet goes out there and tries to do it again, I'm going to try to stop her, because she's the connecting to trail to all this stuff. I could think she could be the reason why she died, and she could be the reason why Quiet ends up dying. So I don't trust Mayhem. That puts a divide between us.
100%, because they didn't even want, well, at least Quiet anyways, didn't really want her even in the race, right? They tried to sabotage the car. She ended up getting another car. That one got destroyed, and then she got another car after that, right? So I agree with you 100%. If it wasn't for her, Dollface would have still survived. So
and then she doesn't want to help them.
Yeah, exactly. After they'd made that sacrifice for her, right? Now, I think it also brings up, which comes up a little later when they make their wishes, I think it comes up to the fact that it's going to cause a little bit of tension between Quiet and John, right? You have to have a little bit of tension there. Now, I do think they'll work it out in the end. They're definitely going to have a conversation, and they're going to come to some sort of agreement or something like that. But
curse him out and tell him what would she want? What would Dollface want? She would want to take down these walls, and you're going to try to bring her back. She's going to kick your ass if she comes back.
Yeah, 100%. And then if she comes back, how is she actually going to come back? Is it going to be actual Dollface, or is it a zombie? You know what I mean? Because you know from the game, and if you guys play the game, that whenever Calypso grants a wish, it usually doesn't end up to be the wish that you wanted it to be. And I think that will be something that maybe John will have to deal with. So it's going to be interesting to see where they go with that. Like, I'm guessing John is going to win this tournament, but that's why I like about him, because at the same time, I think it could be Quiet. You know what I mean? Or it could be someone we don't even think is going to win.
I think someone who wins that we don't have a connection with as much. Someone you don't see coming wins it and then dies from their wish. What if it's Mike? You know, Mike's out there with fake stew or whatever, and somehow they end up winning, and their wish ends up ruining themselves, and then they realize. John starts to realize, and Quiet realize that maybe it's Calypso that's the actual evil person, and he's the one that they need to be going after. And now they change it from trying to win a race to going after Calypso because he's the real evil.
100%. I think we said it last week to the point where it's like we actually believe that Calypso is probably going to be like the final boss. You know what I mean? Like, there's no doubt in my mind that Calypso is going to join this battle. There's going to be a reason why he's going to join the battle. I have no idea. Maybe Quiet and John win at the same time, and it's like you two have to battle me to get your wish. Whoever wins get the wish, or something like that. It's going to be something. It's just not going to be easy where it's like, oh, we won. Now where's our wish? You know. And I'm more. Go ahead.
How awesome is that? That in the thing that's based on a video game, you can have that type of dynamic still.
Facts. 100%.
We don't know what's going to happen.
You know what else they could do too if they really wanted to? I know it would probably be hard because it's a series, but just imagine making different endings for each person to win. You know what I mean? Like something like that would be the nine. We know they're not going to do that, because then we'd be here for another like 5-6 weeks with same episode, just different endings or something like that. But maybe an episode with a montage of what happens if each person won or something like that. That would be kind of cool.
Even a quick, like, a 3-minute thing. If this person wins, this is going to happen. This person, Grim wins, all these souls get taken out and get put into himself. Now he has multiple personalities. It's things like that. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be cool, you know. So kind of stay in line with the game to let you know what the risks are, especially if someone, because they kind of gave us a little bit when some of them gave up what their wish was. But if you notice, there were a few that we didn't get to hear what their wish was. You know, I don't think we heard Sweet Tooth. I don't think we heard Grimm's. You know, we already know what Anthony Mackie and
we know John
are,
Quiet,
right? So I just think that her death brought a lot of stakes to it, and I was like, oh, this is sad but interesting, right? Very 100%. Sad but interesting, because she gets stabbed and then she hits her package and then the missile comes down and it destroys her and the people that killed her. So John is a little bit broken, We see him, he's waiting, and you could tell he's like, no, don't stop the race. But they usually do, because there was one final person that comes in, and they pretty much tell her that, oh, well, her bike comes by itself with the mask, and then they realize that she didn't make it. So, John is pretty much heartbroken, and you can see he's playing it off. But I like the fact that he regrets that he didn't open up to his sister. I think that's what his biggest regret is. What do you think?
Easily, it's the family aspect, because what he said. When he's talking about, don't you want to know about mom and dad? And he said, no. Was it good? Was it bad?
Mm-hmm.
Then no, I don't want to know about it. And that shut down that whole part of his family. Now the last living person in his family just died. So now that's going to be something eating at him going forward. And it's great. The way that they kind of set that up for us is for us to be able to see this and understand this from his point of view.
Absolutely. And not only that, it puts a whole new damper into what we thought was going to happen. You know what I mean? Because none of us, I didn't think she was going to die. Like, I had no clue. I thought, nah, there's no way that. I thought Mayhem, Dollface, of course, Quiet and John were safe. And one of them that.
You're like, oh, really? Dead.
Yeah. Because I kind of understand why they didn't make it Mayhem, right? Because there's that connection with Mayhem and Quiet. I think they're still trying to explore that a little bit. But I think with her dying, it also adds a little bit of tension between Quiet and John, too. So it kind of works for the story.
If Mayhem dies, how do you think Quiet will react to it?
Ooh.
Because they're setting Mayhem up to have everything. She has this amazing car. She has all these weapons now. She doesn't have to drive any of these things anymore. If something happens and someone kills her, like Grim specifically, and her soul is trapped in Grim, how will Quiet react?
You know what's funny? I think that maybe Mayhem wins and grants Quiet her wish, because her wish is dumb, right? We already know what she wished for. It's kind of dumb. So that could be a possibility too. Or like you said, if she dies, ooh, you know what? Maybe Mayhem. Okay, so here it is. Let's say Mayhem does die, right? Now Quiet understands what John is going through and why John made the wish that he made. And maybe she'll be like, you know what? I completely understand why you did it, but we have to do this to honor their legacy. Instead of just, trying to bring them back when we don't know what's going to happen or what Calypso will do, or if she'll come back normally or anything like that. Maybe we honor them by honoring what they wanted, So I could see something. Is
Calypso going to allow them to drive in separate cars? Now they have two different wishes.
I actually think that they are going to be driving two different cars for a second.
Yeah, they can't, because they don't have the same wish. So they're two separate entities.
So now whose car is John going to be driving? That's the question. You know what I mean? Because it's not going to be Roadkill. I think Roadkill is going to be still Quiet. So, but yeah, I agree with you. They're definitely going to have to
the little green bug.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe the little green bug. Oh, that's going to be tight. Ugh. We got to get him in a better car, man. You need to get Roadkill.
You'll be pissed off. Like, what the
heck? But yeah, because in some of the trailers, you see John actually driving by himself. You don't really see Quiet driving by herself, but you see John driving by herself. So it gets to the point where it's like, oh, they're definitely going to be driving separate cars. So it's going to be very interesting. Now we get to, so while they're on the bus ride, Sweet Tooth is going off and he's saying he is going to kill Grim, but Calypso's like, no, there will be no killing unless it's in the tournament. If you do anything like that, you violate the tournament and you will be kicked out.
Shows his power. I was like,
this show is worse than Squid Game season 3. You are out of your mind, Cole. This show is fire, bro. What are we talking about here?
Professional hater, that's all.
Yeah, 100%. Always, every day. You know what I mean? Yeah. if it ain't some artsy fartsy piece of crap movie, it's trash to him. So now we get them going, and they're
That
doing
was funny. He
they're
got me
doing the
scared.
weigh-ins. And he puffing up his chest. I mean, I would, like I said, I would show some of the stuff, guys, but I can't. But it was absolutely hilarious that they had to go through this physical to drive their cars, and the reactions that we get through some of them were absolutely hilarious. Like this one, she tries to kiss him. And he's like, no way, no way.
Mervin had hepatitis A, B, C, D, E. I was like, what?
Facts. He was like, no, we ain't doing none of that. So we definitely had some hilarious moments there. And that's one thing I love about this show, is that the comedy actually fits. But we have Calypso. He's taking them around the dorm, and he's telling them they're partnering
It's a high
up.
school. Isn't that
Yeah.
crazy? It's
Yeah,
a
it's
high
a high
school.
And then everybody runs to the, like, you remember that? It's like first day of school, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
High school, you run to the board and you have all the people's names and the classes and which one on the board. That's how they all ran to this board, like, oh, who's going to be partners? But we already know pretty much everybody who's been partnering up is partnering up, except for Raven, who had to partner up with someone that she actually didn't want to partner up with.
Yeah, she had a room. She had a room with somebody. Yeah.
Yeah. So she gets upset about that, and she goes to talk to Calypso about it, and he just gives her this like, listen,
Look,
this is
bro, powerful. Like, look, you want to mess with me?
This is my tournament, and I will do it the way I want to. And if you don't like it, see, and with that, you can see like he's bouncing front and behind her.
He has teleport powers.
Yeah. And he's not afraid to let these people know that, hey, I have powers. I can do things that you guys can't do. So don't mess with me.
We should have known that just for seeing his perm. When you have a perm like that.
Facts. Especially on a white,
all this humidity in the middle of
exactly
the middle of a tournament, like all the heat and running around in the desert and all that stuff, and you got a perm like that.
Facts.
That's a powerful dude.
100%. And you could tell that Raven is scared of him, right? Because she just like, okay, and turned away and walks away. Like she doesn't even bother with him. So
well, we know she's involved in witchcraft, right? So when she's involved with that and sees his what's that from Teen Titans? Raven look from Teen Titans. I was like, yeah, you probably don't want to mess with that dude.
Facts. Now his eyes turn red, and he is showing his dominance to her right away. Because at this point, I think Raven kind of thinks, she's number one. Like, like I'm number one in this. I run this town and New San Francisco, and that's all me. And Calypso puts her in a place and shows him, like, listen, I ain't nothing to be messed with.
Don't let the demon out.
Exactly. So her nose starts to bleed, which is funny too. Where do you think that? Why do you think her nose started bleeding? Do you think he was like not just showing her like with the eyes, but actually doing something physical to her to make her nose start bleeding like that?
I thought his aura was so strong that it was indominant. It attacked her aura and made her feel small, and she felt his presence, like almost like his body's an avatar, and his actual power is so strong that it would crush you like a bug. And I felt like that's kind of what it was, and that's why you have this nosebleed, because you should not even be able to exist in his presence. So you now know what power is.
I like that. Makes a lot of sense, because you could see the fear in her face. Then we got these two, Mike and I can't remember this other guy's name.
I was just saying, New Stu. I have no idea what his name
is. New Stu, yeah, that's it. With New Stu, and they're happy. They're cheerful. And then they see Stu, and they have a little conversation, and they're talking about this feels like the old days, because it's kind of like in the game, there is a Mike, and I don't know if there's Stu, but there's two guys in the game that are like close friends, and I think that's what they're doing with Mike and Stu, right? Because I think the other guy dies. The other guy's going to die. Like fake Stu is gonna die, and Mike and Stu are gonna get back together and become friends. Yeah, because Stu is sooner gonna later gonna have to leave Sweet Tooth.
You need some help. You need some help. Yeah, like
yeah. He may even betray Sweet Tooth again. You know what I mean? To maybe save Mike. You know, so I could see something like that happen, because you can see he's already angry with, well, not really angry, but like frustrated,
almost jealous.
He's jealous of old Stu, but he's frustrated with Sweet Tooth, right? Sweet Tooth is throwing the mattresses out. I'm like, hey, we need to build a fort, and he's like
why can't we just lay down?
Yeah, exactly. You know? And Sweet Tooth was like, oh, beds are for pussies. So yeah, so Stu's not liking that too much. And then he's, like you said, you can see he is jealous of their friendship. You know, he wants to be a part of that crew. He wants his
and it's funny because new Stu is all about that.
Facts. Facts. And that's what bothers him so much, is that new Stu is kind of like old Stu. You know what I mean? The way their friendship is and stuff like that. So yeah, Stu is not happy with that. And you can see the frustration with Sweet Tooth. And then it skips over to Anthony Mackie. I keep saying Anthony Mackie. John Doe and Quiet, and they're talking about, you know, what we need to do to honor Dollface. What do you think about this scene?
I thought that, you know, the fact that it was so, the heck is going on over there? The fact that it was so emotional, and that Quiet obviously has this effect on him. They have a true relationship, and they actually understand, care about each other. So, which is really weird because of what happens later in the episode. But you can see that there's actually there that you can build on, to the point where, you know, he's talking about his grandfather's cabin. That's a real possibility for them.
Absolutely.
Maybe Quiet could see herself doing these things.
And it's funny that you said that, because not only did he talk about it, she asked him at the end of the episode, like, hey, you want to tell me about the cabin again? Because now she's like, you know what?
I can do
We'll knock the walls. Yeah, we'll knock the walls down. We'll get that wish, but we'll let everybody handle their stuff, and we'll go live off in the cabin like you want us to do. You know, so I think that's definitely a possibility too, for the way this show kind of would end, is them going off into the sunset, you know. But hopefully we get a couple more seasons before that happens, you know.
Yeah, I need at least one more, hopefully two.
Hopefully two, at least one more, 100%. I agree.
New Stu's name is Dave.
Oh, Dave. Okay, good. I'll probably forget before this stream is over anyways, because that's what he is.
Because so now, as soon as we learn his name, he's going to die.
Oh yeah, 100%, 100%. I don't think he's gonna last the whole show, and that's funny too, because like you said, he's gonna die, and then we're gonna get Stu and Mike back together in some sort of reunion, you know, where maybe he saves him from Sweet Tooth. So I like
Sweet Tooth now has two people he's looking for, Grim and Stu.
And Stu, 100%. And Stu needs to be very careful, right? Because you can't. Well, they're definitely not gonna kill Sweet Tooth. But they're gonna either have to do it in a way to where Sweet Tooth doesn't want to kill them, because they don't want to be hunted down for the rest of their lives by Sweet Tooth, you know. So,
but Sweet Tooth has shown Stu how to kill, and Stu is starting to have a backbone. Before, he didn't have any backbone. When he was with Mike originally, he was just trying to get through. Now it seems like Stu actually has a backbone, and something is actually going to push him to be something special. So Sweet Tooth has to watch his own back. Stu might get to a point where he's not scared.
I could see that. I could definitely see that. Now, this scene was hilarious because they go into the cafeteria, right? Mayhem, she tries to grab a couple of beers, but then we have Axel. Axel tries to grab a beer bottle and it breaks. Axel tries to open up the fridge for the sandwiches, and he can't open it up, and he's like, well, somebody get me a fucking sandwich.
Why does he need sandwiches? I thought he only drinks gas.
You know what I mean? And I guess maybe it's not really gas that's in there. He just puts it in there. I don't know. No,
That
actually,
would be hilarious. No, because but it's the diesel.
didn't
Those
he fill
diesels.
it up?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did. He was filling it up or something like that, right? Yeah. So he's definitely maybe he still needs to eat. Well, I mean, it's beer, right? So everybody wants to have a beer every now and then, especially if it's nice and cold. The sandwiches, I guess maybe it's just he needs to eat the sandwiches or whatever. I have no idea. But hey, if he can't if he can't grab a bottle, right, without breaking it, if he can't open up like a fridge to get a, can you imagine the other things he can't
That's what I
do?
was gonna say. There's a frustration there. It's hilarious that Dollface is no longer there because there's a frustration that's probably real big for him. Man, that's torture.
How does he wipe his ass? I'm just gonna say it. How does he wipe his ass?
I was talking about other stuff.
That too, right?
That's almost more important.
Right? So yeah, he's no wonder why he wants to kill everybody. I want to kill everybody too, So he tries to. We have this ant woman or this bug lady. She goes and she grabs a couple of sandwiches, and then Dave has a conversation with Stu. And at first I thought, oh, there's going to be some drama here. Like Dave is kind of jealous too because he sees what Stu is doing. Yeah. But he ends up saying, no, we have enough room. We have 3, we could do 3. And
you can sit in the back. Let's go.
And that kind of gave Stu, like, he had like a little smile on his face, He gets like a little smile, like, oh, hey, all right, so I can be a part of that too, So that's what I'm saying. So it's all leading up to something happening with him and Sweet Tooth not being together by the end of this season.
I can see it.
You can see it too.
Yeah, definitely. I can see it coming. It makes a lot of sense. I can see it even at the end of this next episode. These next couple of episodes we're going to get.
Me too. I could definitely see that too. So now we get the explanation, and basically Calypso's telling them, everybody, you guys get to make your wish. You'll make your wish. And what did you think about them actually making the wish before the race?
I think it set up exactly what we were talking about with this whole thing, where if it's only one wish per car, and now since everyone had got a chance to do this wish, if you're really partners or not. I can even see him saying, no, hey guys, since there's one car who split up their wish, we know we're going to have to split them up because as I told you, there's only one wish per car. And that become a big part of this. Now John and Quiet have to drive against each other again.
Yeah, exactly. And I thought when I was like, okay, they wish before, which is interesting because now you can't change it. So you have to be very careful what you wish for, right? And
can you
like
not
you
change
said,
it though?
Oh, I don't know. I don't think so. Because I remember when he's having the conversation and he's like, you guys are wishing first. He pretty much tells them, yeah, it's kind of hard, like mind blowing, right? So make sure you make the right wish. So I don't think they can change it after they make it.
But if that's the case, then they were a team. So they shouldn't. Once Quiet made her wish, John shouldn't have been able to make a wish.
I agree. Maybe we'll find out.
Find out.
Yeah, right. Because maybe that's why they end up having to be separated, right? Because no, you guys can't race together because you made that wish. So now you have to race on your own, which kind of would make sense if they do it that way. But I agree with you. You shouldn't have been able to make the wish if it's one wish per car. So it's kind of making me think that he's going to have his own car. Will he have his own car for the whole race? I don't know.
I doubt it.
See.
I think they come together and make once it's one single wish, they could drive again together.
Absolutely. So we get everybody going in to make their wishes, and then we finally get John and Quiet going in to make their wish. And you actually see that the room has a well where they have to actually drop a coin in there and make a wish. So Quiet drops her coin. She makes her wish where she's talking about making sure all the walls come down. And as John is walking away, he remembers Quiet's mask. He goes back and then he makes his own wish, where he wishes that they would bring Dollface back.
Was this a setup
from
Calypso?
Calypso?
Why was this a setup?
You know
why
what?
do you have so many gold coins there if it wasn't for you wanted more wishes than one?
And it's funny too that you say that too, because we get Calypso at the beginning of this show with John. So it seems to me like if he didn't go to other contestants and it was just John, then it may be something with John that he wants to win, because even in the next episode, they give them a head start and they give them a tracker, right? So it seems like even though he's making it hard, he may be pushing for John to win. So you're right, that the bunch of coins there may have actually been a setup for John, because we don't know if all those coins were there when everybody walked in, or it just happened to be that when John and Quiet was there, they had a bunch.
Why wouldn't it just be enough for the drivers?
Exactly.
Every single time, if it's only the exact number for each driver, do you want to have
this
that problem?
time?
Do you
have
make sure there's
more than
extras
one
left?
I agree,
Crazy.
because like you said, when they all went in, Stu and Sweet Tooth went in together, right? Dave and Mike went in together, right? So now I know Dave said he don't care about making any wishes, but at the same time, you know, one of them could have made a wish. Stu could have probably made another wish if they were doing that, right? So they didn't. So yeah, I'm assuming that it was only one, but it was more when John and Quiet got in there.
It was a setup somehow. I was trying to push him to do this. And I wouldn't be surprised if John or Quiet figured this out.
Absolutely. Not to mention, it could be the fact that, you know, maybe Calypso is testing their love, right? You know what I mean? Could be testing their love and see, okay, you know, maybe if you guys deserve to be together or something like that, who knows, right? But the episode pretty much ends with a flashback, and we get a flashback to John and Dollface, and we find out how John got the jacket that he was wearing because she made it for him, you know, and he appreciated it. And then one of the most important things is she told him when his birthday was, because until now, he never knew when his birthday was.
He doesn't know anything about himself. So that was the first thing he finally found out about himself.
Yep. That is
going to open the floodgates. I'm telling you,
for him to want to know more. You know what I mean? To want to remember, to want to get Dollface back, and the way, I don't know, man. I sit here and I say, are we gonna get Dollface back? Are we gonna get the walls down? This is what's gonna happen now? My whole heart and soul thinks that Dollface is gonna come back, right? Now imagine Dollface does come back, but she doesn't come back as the Dollface that we know. You know what I mean?
What if it's as simple as Dollface comes back, but she doesn't remember him?
Ooh, that could be a possibility too. And then he has to try and refresh her memory off of the little bit that he remembers. That would be crazy, bro. That would be crazy. So the episode ends with him making his wish, and then we get to episode 7, which is H1. Yeah, I'm not even gonna bother. Hit and run. There we go. Hit and run. I got it, guys. I got it. Took me a minute, but I got it. Hit and run. So this episode starts off with them fixing their cars, right? And basically putting all the weapons on the car, getting ready for the next round. Actually, the first round, because the first match that we had was the qualifier. But Axel kind of figures out what's going on with John, right? He tells John, he's like, no, you have a guilty look on your face. And then they have this little conversation where he's like, oh, I never lied to Quiet before. And he's like, you never lied to your woman or? And he tries to grab for his nuts. And he's like, hey, what are you doing? And he's like, oh, I just want to make sure you have some balls over there. What do you think about their interaction, Brian?
It was hilarious because after that, his attack of John, and John looks super scared. In my mind, no matter what, John is John, but it's still Anthony Mackie. That's still Captain America, right? So I see Captain America for some dude. Hilarious. But, it's also this kind of bro code. No matter what
Mhm.
Axel is, he's still a black man, right? So he
Facts.
still knows what it is. He's still holding him accountable. I thought that was just funny to throw in at that point.
Me too. Thought it was hilarious. And it's funny too, because like you said, he's been looking at Axel with his shirt off and everything. Axel takes the gun. He doesn't say a thing. He's like, you know what? Yeah, you can have it, right? But Axel told him, oh, and Axel said, what did he say? He said, if you come at me, I will make
I'll
sure.
end you.
He said, I will make sure that your cause of death is everything. I was like, wait, how do you even kill somebody like that? You know what I mean? Like everything? Everything.
Oh, man.
Yeah, Axel is hilarious, bro. I can't wait to see more of him. But now we have Quiet and we have John talking, and John is acting weird. He's acting really weird. He's acting really guilty. He calls them Quan, and she's like, what the hell is Quan? He's like, Quan and John. She's like, no. He's like, okay, F Quan and John. So he's acting really weird. He's acting really guilty, and Quiet can kind of sense it. Did you think that he was going to tell her before the race? Because I thought she was going to tell him first.
No, I thought he was too worried about it. And I knew it. Showing his nervousness was going to show how nervous he's going to be during the actual race. That he can't be himself anymore. I think that's a big problem overall for him.
Absolutely, 100%. And of course, we have Mayhem trying to carry this big old Gatling gun, which she can barely lift. But they're like, no, we're not going to help her. And Quiet basically says that she's on her own. So if she gets into trouble again, we have to make sure we keep our eye on the prize. Do you think that Quiet will have to help her again?
Yes. Matter of fact, I actually think that Mayhem will help Quiet. So John and Quiet split up. Something's happening with Mayhem. Someone loses a car. Mayhem helps Quiet, and then Quiet ends up driving back with John.
Interesting. Very, very interesting. See, that's what I like, because there's a lot of outcomes where this show could go, right? Just like, oh, this could happen, maybe this will happen. And I don't really know what they're going where they're going with this. Now, you could say it's going to be predictable and just have John win, right? That would be the predictable thing to happen. But I don't think that's what's going to happen. I don't
The
think
better
it's
thing
gonna
is
be
to
that.
not have it happen. John losing, but understanding the actual real race of what's really happening, especially when we know Calypso's going to give them, whoever wins, only part of what they want, and it's going to ruin their wish overall. So it makes more sense for John not to win.
Facts, 100%. And then if he does win, it's like, okay, he brings back Dollface, and let's just say Dollface does come back and she's normal. They could still, get everybody together to try and take down the walls, right? You could still do something like that. So even if John wins and brings Dollface back, you could still do something to take down the walls. Like if they're able to, rally everybody, maybe they can do something, So that's
what's more important: her life and her leadership to all the dolls, or just taking down the walls with no leader. So they lose all those girls, all those lost women.
Absolutely, 100%. And then we get everybody, talking about their wishes. She says she wants to be warm. Did Raven say? No, Raven never said what she.
Yeah,
we know what Raven's wish is, right? Yeah. Raven wants to bring back her friend, right?
Girlfriend, whatever. Bring her back.
So we know that wish. Did they tell their wish? I don't think they did either.
I don't remember if Mike said anything, but I think it was said was, I really don't,
care.
I don't really have what he says. Whatever Mike wants, that's what we're gonna do.
Yeah. Now, of course, the Bug Lady wants Bugs to take over. Of course.
Yeah, Vermin.
We have, the Vermin to take over. We know what Quiet's wish is. We know what John's wish is. But Mayhem says she wants to be invincible. And everybody starts laughing at her. That's one of the reasons why I think she could win because she has the most outlandish freaking wish.
Dumbest wish, yeah. It's dumb.
Yeah. Imagine she wins and she becomes invincible. You know what I mean? So that's gonna be
Her
interesting.
invincible is that she can't touch anything, and everything that she's ever wanted is all gone.
Facts. And we find out that, because someone's gonna have to be the sacrifice to find out that, Calypso's wishes aren't what they seem. So I think it could definitely be mayhem, especially the fact that she lasted this freaking long.
Could be grim too.
Ooh, and everybody has to fight to keep their souls and shit. Yep. Oh, that would be interesting. That would be interesting.
And then Grim ends up dying because someone kills him that wants to keep his soul. Yes,
Sweet Tooth.
The best one killer. He kills him because he's trying to take his soul, and he's like, nope.
Because we already know Sweet Tooth wants to be known as the best killer ever, right? History, go down as the best killer in history. So I can see Sweet Tooth actually doing something to kill Grim, and take his wish or something like that. And even if they don't win, I could still see Sweet Tooth trying to kill Grim, So that's going to be an interesting dynamic too, to find out what happens between those two. So
he kills him right after the race, because the race is over. I kill him now, free.
Oh yeah, 100%. They're definitely going to have a fight after the race is done, because I don't think either one of them is going to die during the race. They may not win it.
Well, what if Grim wins, and then Sweet Tooth's like, "Oh, race is over," and then he kills him. That way, no one gets the wish.
Ooh, I like that. I could definitely see that. But of course, Calypso kind of gives John and Quiet a head start. He tells them, I'm giving you a minute head start, and I'm giving you this GPS tracker to show you where all the locations of the tags or whatever they got to get are. Why do you think Calypso gave them a head start? It's not because they lost. I really don't believe that. I don't believe it's because they came in last.
Actually, I think that it didn't help to know where they were. And
that too.
And I think that was the whole thing. And because he needs to work, he knows what's going to happen. He knows what John did, right? So he knows John is not going to be able to be focused. So telling them actually hurts them more. They can't work together because he's too all over the place. And it actually puts more strife in this relationship. So I think Calypso is really a mastermind about this. And he's going to continue to do these things to try to drive a wedge between John and Quiet.
100%, because no matter what you want to say, even though it seemed like he was giving him a head start, he really wasn't. There was something definitely behind that. It's like you said, maybe he knew that John wasn't in his right mind and they would struggle with the race even if they got the head start. And they did, because they almost lost it at the same time, right? So Calypso's not always what it seems. That's for sure. He's not always what he seems, so that's for sure. But now we get the start of the race, and we see John is discombobulated already. He's acting like we got this in the bag. Everything is going to be fine. But then when they start the race, he can't follow the GPS. He don't know where to go. He don't know what he's doing. And even when they switch and have Quiet drive, he still is making a lot of mistakes. What do you think about John's reaction in this?
No, it made perfect sense. And I think Quiet knew something was being held away from her too. And John just is not a good liar. That's comes back to that. He's a good guy who doesn't know how to lie. And as soon as he says a lie, he is falling apart.
Absolutely. So they pretty much take off before everybody, but their head start gets like wiped out because they can't find out where to go. Now everybody is in this race. Finally, they actually get to one. And John, of course, being John's like, hey, you know what? We made it over here in record time. Don't worry. Ain't nobody going to be here yet. Well, that was a mistake.
People later.
Because we had the church dudes. We had Stu and Sweet Tooth. And we even had Raven come into this scene. So what were your thoughts on this scene where they're fighting over the ice?
They're all stupid. I would have slid, grabbed the thing, and kept on moving. Or
See, now
even
me,
have one partner do it, have the other partner slap it to the other one, and they go get in the car.
100%. Now, because I grew up in ice skating rinks, that would have been easy for me to get to, bro. But obviously, it would have been so easy. You can't walk normal. You just slide your feet or whatever. There's many ways to get across that ice before you could get to that. So, yeah,
You
you were
don't want
right.
to fall. You sit down and you slide.
Slide. Yeah. Slide yourself right over to there, whatever you had to do. Because Stu actually does it, right? So Stu does the slide to get over there, but when he gets to it, the baby has a gun, and the baby the baby shoots Stu, right? And then it gets into the hands of Quiet. Then it gets into the hands of, I think Raving has it for a second. She drops it, and finally, the first person to get it and run off with it is Sweet Tooth. Did you think Sweet Tooth would be the first one to catch it?
You know, it made sense, and I thought it was justice for Stu getting shot by a baby.
Hilarious, bro. Yeah, that baby is something else, ain't he?
Man, the devil. And if I was John and Quiet, I know we haven't gotten there. I would love that damn baby.
Oh, 100%. 100%. And that's a scene that's gonna made me laugh too. We'll get to that in a second, but we get Mayhem. Mayhem gets to the second flag, but when she gets up in there, of course, her rival is there. And he's like, oh, he has it already. But he's like, oh, this is going to be easy because he wants to actually kill her. They have a big fight. And Mayhem actually drop kicks him out the window.
Yeah.
That was surprising and crazy. But what did you think? I knew he was going to die, 100%.
Yeah, he had to die. And, you know, his terrible attitude and all that stuff, and him being her biggest enemy made so much, because he had so much stuff to give. He had he had the Audi, he had this all this stuff. For her, it made sense for him to be the one that dies and for her to get all that stuff.
Absolutely.
You know, but it was also Mayhem's first time killing somebody.
Yes. Yeah. And to be honest with you, I'm not even sure she really tried to kill him. She just drop kicked him, and of course he flew out the window, you know. But yeah, like you said, she hasn't really killed anybody, and you could see that the look on her face is like, oh shit, I just killed somebody, you know. So that's definitely going to be an effect on her. Obviously, we see at the end when she tries to have a conversation. Now we could cut back to John. They're going for the second one or the third one, and the bug lady gets it. So everybody is getting these things before John and Quiet. Now,
he had a head start.
Yeah, who had a full minute head start, and they still haven't gotten one yet. Now, of course, it's for, what's up, Basil? How you doing, brother? Thanks for popping in. Of course, it's for dramatic reasons, right? You can't have them be the ones to get it right away. But I wasn't expecting who the final two would be. I wasn't expecting that. You know what I mean? I didn't know who it was going to be, but I didn't know it was going to be that. So
no, I thought it's awesome and hilarious.
Oh, 100%. 100%. But now Mayhem,
she takes advantage of any system she can, any setup she has.
She is on her third car already, bro. Now this car has some AI in it that pretty much is just going. I think that car is going to be a big factor for her going forward in this race. What do you think?
100%. And the question is she going to just dust everybody with this now? Because she doesn't, without having to drive, sitting there driving with a sandwich in her hand, like, hey, y'all,
facts,
can't do it.
Facts. John should have kept his glasses. He could have seen the red dot better. Facts.
He should have kept his glasses just because you know what Quiet's going to do.
What Quiet's going to do. Absolutely. So she gets in the car. She programs herself into the car. Car takes off and takes her to the end. So she gets away. We get to Sweet Tooth. They're driving through the end. It's funny because Sweet Tooth was the first one to get one.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like one of the last ones to cross the line. That's crazy.
What's hilarious that he did that. He crossed over. Did anyone ever see
Grim get one of the flags? No. Yeah, no, that's what I was saying too. That would make sense as to why Grim actually jumped onto the car, right? Because he would get through without having to get one. Now, does that
Did it
kind of break the
say?
rules of
Yes,
the
it did.
race?
Did it say you had to have one of those?
Well, it said that it said that you had to use it to finish the race.
You have to
Didn't
finish the
necessarily
race.
say, yeah, didn't necessarily say you had to actually have one. So it was kind of interesting to see the way Grim actually got through, right? He jumped on the back of Sweet Tooth's car and then made it through, which I don't think he had one, to be honest with you. What do you think he had one?
I didn't see one, so that's why I was so confused. I was like, did he grab one and they just not show us?
That's what I was saying. And then I think there was 5 of them. So yeah, there's a possibility that he didn't get one. Maybe we'll see in the next episode what happened. But now we get to Quiet and we get to John, and they're going for the last one. But as they reach the last one, these guys have it. So they have to have a fight with them. Quiet goes out to fight. I don't know what Quiet went out to fight. John should have went out to fight, and Quiet should have manned the guns. But that's not what happened. So Quiet went out to fight this guy, and she held his own. Quiet can fight. Quiet can definitely fight. So then they end up getting it, right? Hitting John. John goes for the boomerang missile because he's going to use it, but they take it from him, right?
Yep.
And I knew right away the minute they took the boomerang missile from him, it's not going to work out well for them.
Because we were asking, what does the boomerang missile actually do? If it comes right back to you, why is it good to have it? Well,
exactly.
They grab it and they try to shoot it at John, and they find out why it's called a boomerang missile.
Absolutely. But before that, John and Quiet are pretty much panicking because they know this is the last one. So they're chasing them down to try and get it from him while these guys still have the baby in the car. Now, the reason why they pull out the missile is because they asked the baby, what should we do? And the baby says, kill him.
Yep.
So I think that is showing us that the baby is actually reincarnated of, I can't even remember his name, but the church
why would
guy
they just leave the baby?
I know, right? I know. He said it was a real double win-win for Grimm because either he dies with his enemy or he passes. Absolutely. John was not focused. That's why she went to fight them. Yeah, you're right.
Probably wouldn't have messing up.
Yeah, he probably would have lost that fight too. And you could see like through this whole race that John really wasn't focused at all. So I could see that. But he pulls out the boomerang missile and he shoots it. Now the boomerang missile flies out the car. I'll put it here. And then stops right before it hits the car and goes back to the person who shot it, which is a weird weapon because if John would have shot it, then
you're screwed.
Yeah, it would have killed them, right? So, interesting. But
what's the point of all the boomerang whistles?
I have no idea. It makes no sense to me, right? To be honest with you, it makes no sense to me if that's the case. Or maybe it's like a short distance and it has to hit the target quick or else it's going to come back. I don't know. It's just weird that it did that, but maybe. And we don't
dodge and hit your guy who's behind you.
Maybe. I have no idea. It was just, I'll say this, as much as I like what happened, it was kind of weird that the missile does it like that, right? Because it kind of makes it seem like, well, the missile is not for the person who's shooting it, then it's for, you know what I mean? Like, unless you're shooting it at yourself, right? You shoot it at yourself?
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah, I guess so.
Watch what I do now. Still blow up.
But he does say, oh, boomerang missile. So I guess he understood now what it was actually for. So yeah, it could be right, you know? But it blows up the car. And then they go and they're like hunting for the little flag. They actually see the flag because the only person that survived was a baby.
Yep.
And of course, the baby's doing baby things. He's eating it, but John tries to take it from the baby, and Quiet's like, "We need to get it. We need to get it now."
John
And
can't take a candy from a baby. That's basically can't do.
facts. John saying this little fucker is strong, I think it was just a plot device purpose. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, 100%. It was. Comic relief, basically. That's what that missile was for. You know what I mean? Because it makes no absolute sense if you really think about it. It just doesn't. Anybody who shoots it is dead. So John's like, I'm trying to take it from him, and can't. And then hold on, did I pause it? I did.
Once again, Captain America can't take a toy from a baby. He's about to punch the ish out of the baby. I said, "Hey, John, stop!"
Bro, I was dying. He pulled back like he wanted to clock that baby hard.
He was about to hit Thanos.
Facts. Quite's like, no, what are you doing, John? We can't do that. So they end up taking the baby. Now, the baby is crying because the baby is stuck with these two, and they already know that John killed the baby in its adult life, right? So I found that a little bit funny. I thought that was hilarious.
It was almost like a view into the future of them having a baby, and Quiet was like, "You better go get him, man, John. I'm done with that baby."
Facts. Facts. So they end up taking the baby. They cross the finish line, and then we get back to the room where Sweet Tooth is like, I'm gonna fix this truck because we are never going to have something like that happen again.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to have that. And him's having a conversation with Stu, and then
that makes a lot of sense, right? So now they're gonna get to the next race, and Stu's gonna come and fall out, but he can't get back in because Sweet Tooth basically torched the door closed.
Yeah.
And the only way that he lives is that Stu rides with Mike.
Mike, I agree. It makes sense.
Mike and Dave.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense. So we have Mayhem, and she's talking to the car, and she's telling the car, "Oh, can I have a conversation with the car?" I was like, "Nope, I got to shut down. We have no power." And the car shuts down on her. Car didn't want to hear it. So she kind of needs someone to talk to, so she goes and talks to Quiet. Mayhem, Calypso, I think he's talking to Raven here. Let me see. I think he's talking to Raven. No, he's actually talking to... Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah, he's talking to John and Quiet, telling them he's going to take the baby, and they're like, he's like, unless you guys want to keep him. Like, no, you can
take the baby.
Take this little fucker. He ain't doing nothing with this baby. So they end up giving the baby to Calypso, which is very interesting that Calypso has this baby. What do you think Calypso's end goal is? Do you think Calypso has something planned with the baby?
I think the one that their god or whatever, I think he's also spawned of the devil.
Mm-hmm.
And that Calypso's going to take care of him, and he's going to help him on his pursuits, whatever it is. And we're going to find out Calypso's pursuits are evil.
You think there's a chance that Calypso turns the baby back into an adult to the old form that he was?
Maybe, especially at the end when he needs more help.
I could see that, I could see that. I could see Calypso doing that, We'll see. We'll see what happens. Maybe he doesn't, but I have a feeling that the guy that played
John wins, and he says, "I want Dollface back," and he says, "Oh, Dollface," and he brings the baby back, and he makes him an adult. And said, "You didn't know that was his name too?" And it's a wish that goes awry.
I can see that because I whoever gets the wish, it's going to go awry. There is no doubt in my mind this wish is not going to work out like it's supposed to. So, yeah. And I think there's definitely something more with that baby. They probably planting seeds for something else, you know what I mean? Bring him back as an antagonist for John again in a future season or something like that. Or maybe towards the end of this season. Who knows, right? Because the baby already wants to get revenge on John. So you bring it back, make it a little bit harder for John. So, because there is a scene, and I don't think we had it yet, but there is a scene where John says Quiet, where it's like, Calypso's gonna make this race harder than we thought. We knew it wasn't gonna be easy. So yeah, there's gonna be a lot of twists and turns that come into the rest of this episode.
It seemed like it was talking to the audience for us to know, hey, this is going to happen.
Agreed.
Everything you think is going to happen, we're going to change that next episode.
Agreed, 100%. So Quiet, Mayhem is kind of like, oh, she needs someone to talk to. So she talks to Quiet. She's telling them about her first time killing anybody. And here's where you're right, where it's like, I think their connection is getting a little bit deeper, especially now that Mayhem actually decided to go and talk to Quiet. And Quiet, even though she's upset that Mayhem's there, and I don't know if Quiet pretty much blames her for Dollface's death. I don't see why.
I don't think she does.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think she does either. I say I don't see why she wouldn't. I know John does. John probably does, 100%. But even the way John reacted towards her, like, oh yeah, I'll let you talk. I'm not sure if John even blames her too.
I wonder if it's going to come up later. More he thinks about it, more angry he looks at it. He's like, why are you helping her instead? She's the reason why my sister's dead.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying. So maybe something happens to where Mayhem needs help again. And John's like, remember what happened the last time we helped her? Someone died. You know what I mean? So I could see something like that happening. Very interesting. Very interesting to see where that's going to go. Right. I think a lot of the foreshadowing that we saw where they had to help her in the first couple episodes, second episode, where she had to help her, is going to come back around to where it's like, do we really want to help her this time or not? Right? We have our eye on the prize. They may be like right close to the finish.
But if we win, if we win, she dies.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Something like that is going to happen. 100%. So now we get to them having their conversation, and she finds out that it's the first time she killed anybody. But the real conversation is this one, which is between John and Quiet, where Quiet is like, what is going on with you? You weren't yourself today. You weren't nervous before. You've never been nervous before. Now all of a sudden you feel nervous and you're not on your game. She's like, is it me? And John's like, no, it's not you, it's me. And then he ends up telling her exactly what he did. And that's how the episode ends. What did you think about what John
I was going to ask you, was that stupid? Do you think that's stupid?
That he told her?
Yep.
Well, I mean, for him, no, right? Because I think he would never be able to focus on the rest of the race if he didn't let his truth out there, right? He'll always be carrying that with him, which will prevent him from even winning the race, right? Even coming in. So I think it was good that he actually did tell her, but at the same time, telling her is going to cause issues. So there's that too,
There's going to be a lot. I can't wait to find out what happens tomorrow night. I'm so excited to see what the hell's going to come of this.
Me too. Because like I said, it's not just some cookie cutter where it's like, oh yeah, you made that wish. Oh no, I understand why you did it. No, there's going to be a problem. They may have an argument and they may have an issue with what happened, and then make up.
Say, I don't trust you.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's always a big problem for people. I can't trust you now.
Exactly. And then, you went behind my back and did it. We didn't even discuss anything, right? We sat in that cafeteria for how long? And there was no discussion on anything. And you just went behind your back and did what you did, which kind of is a callback to, I think at the beginning, where Calypso kind of said, like, at one point, everybody is out for themselves. You know what I mean? He pretty much
John's going to prove that point so hard that Quiet's like, I can't trust you.
Exactly. And he may have to do something that's not about himself to get her to trust again. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of scenarios that these episodes can go to. I'm very interested to see where they go. He said it's going to be a problem because she too lost her brother, and it was something they had in common. Facts. And even with that, she still didn't make the wish to bring back her brother, right? Her main wish was to break down the walls, which I think she feels is more important than anything else. So definitely interesting to see where it goes. Now, Unfortunately, I wish they did, but they don't really show trailers to the next episode.
Dude, I've been
on this.
looking. I've been even while we were sitting here, I've been looking at Twisted Metal, season 2, episode 8.
Nothing.
Nothing.
But we do have the synopsis for it. So it says,
Yeah.
episode 8, it says, John and Quiet forge an uneasy alliance with fellow contestants as they face their most dangerous challenge yet. With time running out and the odds stacked against them, they must put aside their differences and work together to survive. So, with that being said, yeah, they're going to separate, but it's going to be a race where they may have to rely on other people as well, right? I can see it being Axel.
This episode is every man for himself.
It could
That's
be
a twist for it.
Yeah, it could be. It could be 100%. I find it interesting that it says that they have to make alliances with fellow contestants, and who would be the fellow contestants that they would make alliance with. I could see it being Mike. They're there, but they don't really do much. You know what I mean? They're there. I could see it probably being Axel more than anybody who they have to make an alliance with. Yeah, sure. If you got one, let's drop it. Episode 8 and 9 this week, and 10 to 12 next week. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And Brian found the clip for the next week episode, which we will be playing. So the Bug Lady and Axel will die next episode. Ooh.
I can see Axel.
I can see the Bug Lady. I
feel like
I'm not sure Axel.
People that they love, that we actually like.
Could be. I just don't see. I mean, Axel is definitely expendable. I just don't see him dying. Let's go. See.
Wayne did on the link. Did we have
there you go. Yeah. So
it's as loud as it goes, unfortunately.
Okay, so that definitely.
Thanks.
So
this is my room in Ashanti.
I could see John and Mayhem teaming up. So who's Quiet team up with?
Man.
Axel.
I'm going to go say Sweet Tooth.
Ooh, that would be interesting. I would like that. That would be interesting. I could definitely see that. You know, I was thinking more Axel because, yeah, Sweet Tooth. Her and Sweet Tooth.
Totally mess everything up, you know. And then Axel's with like Grimm or something like that.
Yeah, I can see that there. That's definitely something that makes sense. And then we have a synopsis for episode 9 where it says Calypso stuns the contestants with a game-changing twist. Sweet Tooth is cut loose. John and Quiet confront their feelings.
So now you can go ahead and kill. In or out, you can kill.
Yeah, because it says Sweet Tooth was cut loose. So I could see maybe Sweet Tooth killing Grimm before the contest is about to start, or, you know, in between the contest, and that's why he gets taken out. Boswell said, damn, what a kill. Yeah. Oh, man, I am definitely excited for these 2 episodes, bro. I can't wait to see them. I think we're going to get a lot of good stuff. And it's showing you that, you know, in episode 8, Quiet and John are going to have an issue. And then in episode 9, they're going to confront their feelings and they're going to get everything out on the table. So,
and does that take on? Are they able to deal with it, or is it going to be another problem? I don't know.
I think they're going to be able to deal with it. I think they're going to get around it. I think they're going to come to an agreement on what to do if either one of them wins. You know what I mean? So
you win, we go with your, you know, or whatever.
Yeah,
it is, we'll do it. We'll figure out a way that we can do this together. Okay.
Yeah, and if I win, we'll go with mine. You know what I mean? But, you know, we won't have no regrets or animosity towards each other, whoever wins. You know, I could see that.
I like
it. Quiet and Sweet Tooth, Stu and Grimm, Raven and Mike. Ooh, interesting.
I can see that. I can see all those.
Me too. I could also see Raven and Axel, to be honest with you. I can see that. It'd be very interesting to see.
I'm excited now, man. I just want to see what's going to happen. All
Yep,
the
me
chaos.
too.
That's what Twisted Metal is about. It's about chaos. So I want to see all the chaos happening at the same time.
Well, we don't have to wait too long. Tomorrow, midnight here, 11 Eastern your time, we get to watch the 2 episodes of Twisted Metal. So, guys, make sure that you're locked in and you're here for that. I know last week Basil was like, oh, he sent me like a comment. He's like, oh, you guys still did it? He's like, nah, I had to go to work. So I get it, Basil. I get it. It's a little bit late at that time. You know what I mean?
Put the earpiece in, listen to the episode.
Lie down. Facts, 100%. I think it's going to be 2 bangers. And the episodes are short, so it's only an hour that we're usually on for, you know? Said, have you guys seen Chief of War?
I saw the episode, first one. It was pretty damn good.
Was it really? I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah,
I'll check it out. Yeah?
Yeah. Pretty good.
All right. If you guys saying it's good, I'll definitely check it out. I see it there all the time, and I'm just like, but I'll watch it. I'll definitely watch it. But guys, thank you everybody for popping in. He said, yep, it's real good. All right. And I usually like your taste, Basil. You have pretty good taste in certain things, you know what I mean? So I'm okay with that.
It's different, though. It's different. So I want you to watch it and you let me know what you think.
I will. And guys, like I said, we will be back here tomorrow night. We'll be the OOC. Then we will be back to do the watch party for this. So make sure you check that out. It's going to be fun. It's going to be great. Got some other things in the pipeline we working on, so make sure to check that out too. It's gonna be a good one. Cousin T, what's up, brother? He said good night, guys. Yeah, thank you for
Cousin
in.
T.
Appreciate it 100%. So like I said, keep your notifications on there, you know, and give us comments. Let us know what you guys thought about this episode. If you liked it, you know what I mean? We want to hear you, what you didn't like, because we already had the big hater Cole up in here saying this show is worse than Squid Game Season 3, which I thought Squid Game Season 3 was good. So I don't know what the hell.
Cole's a professional hater. This is what he does.
Facts, 100%. Brian, tell the people where they can find you, sir.
Yo, 1/3 Spoiler Kings. We go live Monday, Thursday, and Saturdays. And I've been here on Tuesdays hanging out with Nzo, Big Four Entertainment. Watch out for more stuff for us. Appreciate you guys.
Absolutely, 100%. And as you know, Big Four Entertainment, we are signing out. Make sure to check out Spoiler Kings channel. And actually, if you like some sports, go check out their sports show over there that they're going to be doing in a little bit tonight. You know what I mean? I always pop in there every now and then. And I can't wait for the football season to start. Fantasy football is back up and everything. So it's
right around the corner. Great. And your team looks 100%. Decent.
Looks pretty good. So we'll see what happens, guys. Thank you again, once again, for coming in. I appreciate everybody. And we will see you on the next one. Peace.
I am Calypso.
The round stopped, Basil.
And I'm hosting a tournament. If you win, I will grant you a single wish.
Cowabunga, motherfucker. Get out the way. It's time for the outsiders to get their fair share.
If we win, we can wish to bring down all the walls.
We're taking them all down. System the walls, all of it.
Oh, girls.
Prepare for battle in 10, 9.
You make a run at me, I will end you. Feel me?
We knew Calypso wasn't going to make it easy on us. That's what makes your wish worth it. Out of my way!
Welcome to Twisted Metal.